just mentioning this divergence that we have seen between the U.S. and the rest of the world, it seems. Where are you looking for opportunity now in the emerging market space? I mean, once the dust settles, it seems like there's kind of value everywhere these days.
Yeah, I mean, we thought the emerging markets, particularly relative to the developed markets, were inexpensive coming into this year, and it's certainly been more exaggerated with, again, trade and tariff obviously impacting emerging markets more. So overall, we would certainly be putting more money into space there. I think China's particularly been hit hard, so I think some of the names there are of interest. But just emerging markets in general, we love the demographics, we love cheaper valuations, and we like the growth rates. Also putting money into Europe and Japan as well. Overweight Europe, overweight Japan. Much more accommodating monetary policy, cheaper stocks, and we think the earnings growth is good enough, particularly, or the economic growth as well at these rates. So basically funding the rest of the world from the U.S. right now, again, continuing to play with the house money, but putting some chips around the world right now we think is prudent within a multi-asset framework.
Yeah, and we were just reading some of these Fed minutes that came out. The one thing that caught my eye was the Fed saying that they may fairly soon change that statement that monetary policy remains accommodative. But there also seems to be this growing divide among members themselves about the outlook of inflation, the yield curve and whatnot. You know, how particularly hawkish do you think these minutes are, and how should we actually read them?
Yeah, I think the play's been called by the Fed, and I was looking at the meeting, the minutes as well. I was zeroing in on kind of some of the emphasis on acknowledging, tariffs and the impact to both growth as well as inflation. We think September again is kind of a done deal. Not quite there yet on December. We'll certainly know. We'll have another third quarter GDP information out by that meeting, as well as the midterm elections and any sort of political effect. I think it'll be hard for the Fed right now, and I know Jackson Hole is right around the corner. I wouldn't anticipate too much messaging coming from Powell there, and I would not think he would come across dovish, particularly again in response to President Trump wanting him to be. I don't think he wants to show that he's listening and trying to remain as independent as possible. So we think September's in the books, maybe December with 3 more next year, and kind of the play's been called by the Fed.